Welcome everyone to UND Insider Weekly alongside Tom Miller and Brad Schlossman from the Grand Forks Herald and Paul Ralston from UND Athletics. I'm Tim Hennessy. Gentlemen, first up, the volleyball team played North Dakota State at the Betty on Monday night in front of a record crowd. I don't know if anybody's still researching that, whether that was a record in the state or not, but certainly at 2,688, a thrilling atmosphere, obviously, for a big game anytime these two teams get together. What was it like, Paul?
It was just tremendous. I would like to see this become the norm. Certainly it says a lot that the rivalry is still alive and well between the two schools and people in the communities. I just thought it was electric. I think the players from both squads reveled in it, enjoyed it. I think no matter if you're a player on the losing side or the winning side, obviously it's much nicer when you're on the winning side, but you enjoy playing in an atmosphere where it means something to people and there's that many people watching you.
You guys notice that in volleyball, that it doesn't make a difference whether it's a bad play or a good play, they're always smiling? Do they enjoy playing that game more so than everybody else in any other sport?
Could be. It might be. There definitely is a lot of positivity going on, and I think when you have a crowd like that, it's easier for them to get even more excited about playing well. And last night I decided to stay home, didn't want to brave the crowd, watched it on TV. Miller, you came out here and covered it from who knows where.
Yeah, no, I was
standing room only.
I was standing room only. I was. There was quite the crowd. Comparing it to basketball games, it was right up there with anything we've seen in the Betty here. And that's got to be encouraging to Coach Ashley Hardy that fans are really willing to come out here and watch volleyball if he's putting a good product on the court, and he is right now.
What was with the swim team? Looking for dates?
You won't see a media run on the court like that anytime soon.
That'd be good. Ashley Hardy told me last week, he said, get there early. It may not last long, and he was very prophetic, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you could look at NDSU's record. They have played tough competition too. Their record isn't very good. It seems like the two programs are going in opposite directions right now. For how many years did NDSU dominate UND in volleyball? I mean, the record wasn't even close. It was something like 67-3 or 67-4 NDSU was, and in the D1 era now UND's 3-1. So I think he anticipated they had a young team, they were struggling, and UND's veteran squad could run them out of their building, and they did.
3 in a row?
3 in a row, and actually the last 2 straight set sweeps. So, North Dakota's definitely onto something here in the rivalry with North Dakota State, and credit that to Coach Ashley Hardy, but also credit it to his veteran players. It means an awful lot to a player like Ronnie Munkeby, who's a North Dakota native from Lisbon, and the other players within the program with the local ties. I think that rivalry means something special to them.
In the long run, 4-0 in the Big Sky Conference. Obviously, their target is to win the Big Sky Conference, to win the Big Sky playoffs, to get into the NCAA tournament. So, in the long run, 4-0 and a fast start, and just the way they've done things to teams and eliminated them is just very impressive, isn't it, Tom?
Well, the two things that'll give you a great public perception or generate interest in your program are beating the in-state rivals that everybody recognizes, as well as going to the NCAA tournament. That's got to be their ultimate goal, and that's got to be the next big one on their to-do list. And going 4-0 to start the conference and doing it in pretty convincing fashion is a good way to start that.
And I thought, Tom, from the standpoint of the way North Dakota played those 2 matches this past weekend at home against Weber State and also against Idaho State. Against Weber State, it was a very offensive affair, maybe a little bit not to Coach Hardy's liking because he's a little bit more defensive-sided coach, but then to turn up the defense, to crank it up against Idaho State, against a program that's kind of well thought of in the Big Sky circles. They cranked up the defense, and that really was what kind of put them over the top in getting that victory on Saturday night.
Brad, that's 4-0 in the Big Sky, then the win at North Dakota State, but they're expected to win that, I guess. Can it still be a springboard the rest of the way here? I
think so. When you have that many fans, for fan support, you have that many fans out there last night. They see that it's an exciting sport. They see UND win, that they're a good team. I think maybe you'll get more fans out there. It keeps the momentum rolling. Had they lost last night, that maybe stops their momentum, so I think it's definitely something that they can use to go forward. We've talked about it. It's not a difficult sport to follow. That, I think, is the best thing for fans. It's pretty simple. Hit it over the net in 3 hits and you're good, right?
Well, that makes it awesome, and it allows intermittent explosions of excitement through the arena, which makes the Betty a lot of fun to be in.
And I've watched some bad volleyball in our time, and when you watch bad volleyball, it's not that exciting. And then all of a sudden you come out here and watch these guys play, and it's a totally different game. It's when it's fast-paced and they're hitting the ball as hard as they do, and they're as athletic as they are and making some of the digs. It's an exciting sport to watch.
It's a little different than Saturday afternoon in front of the frat in Columbia.
It's
Over at Brimlock in the sand, right?
It's a little different than Matt Schill's Wednesday night volleyball team.
He would dominate, though. At his size, I would guess he would dominate. Let's talk some football. North Dakota finally gets on the road, and that might be the best thing for this football team. Most coaches will tell you that in any sport, they like getting on the road, the bonding and all that. And I think it's something that makes sense to me. They've had a couple of thrashings at home. Good thing to get on the road, I would guess, don't you think?
Yeah, it's an opportunity to turn the next page, put the past in the past, and right now they have a lot they need to put in the past. So Idaho State presents a challenge to pick up a Big Sky win over a program you should beat, and it'll be very interesting to see which UND team we see and how they stack up against a team that was predicted to finish towards the bottom of the Big Sky.
Better than going on the road, I think, is that they're playing Idaho State, and this is a team that has 3 Big Sky wins in their last 41 Big Sky games. They haven't won a Big Sky game in they've lost 16 straight. So, this is finally a team that's not ranked in the top 10, so I think that's a relief. And we'll see what they can do. They have to win this game.
And I don't know how real the concern is as far as confidence is, but any student athlete is susceptible to having a dip in confidence after, a couple of tough outings. And you hope that they can find that this week in practice and then, take it on the road to Pocatello and find a way to dig out a win and start building some confidence back up.
Patience, right? I really, even in the 2 redshirt freshman quarterbacks we've seen, they've taken but they're playing some pretty good competition, so maybe this will be a chance for them to grow in confidence a little bit as well. The UND women's hockey team was in action on Friday night against the Pursuit of Excellence team, an academy out of British Columbia, and they throttled them pretty good, as they should have throttled them. Good thing to play that game, Brad?
Well, it's partly a recruiting game. They have a bunch of young players, very talented young players who will eventually be D1 players. So I think that's part of it. And then they just, I guess you get your first look at game action and what you have on your team, and see if your team is what you thought they were in, preseason workouts and everything like that.
Lamoureux list.
Yeah, that's for fans and everything. It's the first chance to see what they look like without the Lamoureux twins, and I don't think they're going to score as much. I don't think that's a huge bold prediction. You lose the top 2 WCHA scorers in history, that their scoring might go down. It's not really a profound statement, but defensively, I think they'll be really good. And Haley Kajaniak, the touted freshman, was really good on Friday night, and she might be their best defenseman already, and by the time she's done, she could be the best they've ever had.